So we've got Freya on the show today, which I'm obviously very excited about, but the lovely thing is she's come in early and she's made us all a cup of tea. Tastes like chicken. Good morning, my friends, and welcome to Celebrity Big Brother's Little Breakfast. It's day 15, and the Big Brother house. The time is? It's 8:01, everyone. Listen up, let me tell you this. We got a picture for you today. Loads to get through, and so much to talk about, especially from last night. It's coming up on today's show, fresh from the house and gagging to spill the beans over breakfast, newly evicted housemate Freya is here, everyone. Man, she looked good last night, didn't she? Look at her. Answering your questions and Ask BBLB later on. Jenny Trent Hughes is here, everyone. About time we got Jenny back. Lovely outfit as well, Jenny. She gets to grips with the cross-cultural confusion that's going on in the house, of which I think you'll agree there is a lot. And just last night, as the celebrities were coming to terms with losing Freya, Big Brother pulled another stunt on the housemates. If you didn't get to catch up with streaming last night, we're going to let you know exactly what was happening, what the blue blazes indeed was happening, as we catch up with BBLB's big news. Out of here. Nice whip. At 11:55 last night, George and Preston were called simultaneously to the diary room after breaking the cardinal rule of discussing nominations. Big Brother delivered their punishment, unbeknownst to them, in front of their fellow housemates.
Oh my God!
You must both agree on 3 housemates to face the public vote. Please could you give the name of your first nomination and then explain your reasons for this nomination?
Well, Tracy's my first, obviously. I'd say Tracy's first.
Tracy's both of our first. She created a very bad incident, which need never have arisen.
Now could you give the name of your second nomination and explain your reasons for this nomination?
For me, it would be between Rula and Maggot.
What?
Well, Maggot said something earlier, which I would thoroughly disagree with, was we were sitting down, me and Chantal, who I love very dearly, and he said, let's play the capital cities game. And what he implied to me was, let's play that make Chantal look like a and I thought it was really unnecessary.
If you all agree on Maggot, I'll
and for that reason, I'll nominate Maggot.
Could you give the name of your third and final nomination?
Well, mine would be Rula. On the basis that she's trying too hard, and I think she's falsely exuding bonhomie with a view of canvassing votes.
Man, that's tough. Big Brother's such a bitch. So, to recap, Maggot, Rula and Tracy are going to face eviction this Friday. George and Preston obviously didn't know what was going on. Certainly didn't know the rest of the housemates could see them there. And at 12:01 a.m, George and Preston left the comfort, with a capital C, of the diary room to face the group. Take a look.
Let me be the voice of reason for this table. You guys did a nice job on TV. They showed that whole thing. They showed the whole thing.
That so you told a lie.
It's merely deferred. Well, in which case the liar is not me. Because 2 people told me that you said that.
I have never, those words have never passed my lips. I have never said I was out to win.
Well,
ever.
You were being cruel.
You called him lazy.
You were being cruel to
He called you lazy.
You were being cruel to them.
I'm still totally perplexed. And I hear you still stand by your word.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, it's not fun this year, is it? And finally, at 3:29 this morning, after Preston's stressful night, Pete sent Chantal to comfort him. Thank you, Data Post.
Oh, look at you two. Give him a cuddle, he needs a cuddle.
I can't resist.
Here we are. I'll get off the bed and might catch crap.
What?
Oh man, is he dumped. So, Maggot, Rula and Tracy are all up for eviction tomorrow night, but who goes is for you to decide. The lines are open now. These, my friends, are numbers to call. Don't forget, lines close tonight on Davina's show tomorrow night. So don't close the lights. So, 3 housemates will wake up this morning with the fear of eviction tomorrow night. But for one lady, that feeling is like so yesterday. Her friends and family are here to support her. Lovely Krishna. Wonderful. Look at you, little Krishna. Please welcome Freya, everyone! You look and are beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you, you too.
Wow. How are you feeling, Freya?
Oh, great to be out of there.
Have you slept at all last night?
Oh, about 2 hours.
Right, OK, so you're all geared up for this. Before we go any further, second celebrity to be evicted, let's take a look at what happened last night.
The second housemate to be evicted from the Big Brother house is Freya.
Well, she's all you'd ever want. She's the kind of... But she always knows her place. She's got style, she's got grace. She's a winner.
You do say things in the heat of the moment.
You're under such pressure. I wasn't in there for a talent. Shut up, you lot.
Do you think Sven might have voted to evict you or not?
I don't think he gives it. Really? Does it?
Nancy?
She would have done, wouldn't she? Are you worried how people are going to react to you now that you are out? I'm not worried at all. I was completely myself.
Apart from Dennis, who else did you fancy in the house?
Oh, well, I was really spoilt for choice, don't you think?
311.5 hours in the Big Brother house. How does it feel to be out?
It's a sense of relief, actually, to be out of there, because there's so much pressure whilst you're in there being watched. And the funny thing is that you completely forget about the cameras, and then suddenly you check yourself and think, oh, God, you know, and then your microphone, you know, half the time you go in the loo with your microphone and you forget, oh, God, I'm going for whatever. You just completely forget about it.
How conscious are you of it? I mean, it just comes back in waves, does it?
Well, it is in waves, yes, and most of the time you do forget that you're being watched, and there's a camera at every corner. And many times you actually sit and think, oh, they're not going to film this, they're not going to show this. And of course, a lot of things are edited as well, so you're aware of that too.
What did you want to achieve before you went in the house, and do you think you achieved it?
I was actually there for myself, and I think partly also I wanted to learn about myself, and I found a lot of things out about myself as well. And also perhaps to give people the opportunity generally to know that I'm just a normal person, and I think I'm a nice person as well. And I hope that's achieved.
Good, well, I do too. OK, you're a bit quiet in the first week. You seem to come out of your shell, certainly as the show progressed. Was that conscious, or you just feel more relaxed as the time goes on?
I felt more relaxed as time went by, because I think when I went in, it wasn't with a view to sort of playing a game and think, oh, God, you know, let's just be quiet because it's best to keep in the background. I was actually just observing people, because you sound people out, you know. At first, when you go into something like this, you know, they're all strangers, and they're all quite big names, in my opinion. So to go in there and
the big egos, aren't they?
Huge,
like you said, exactly, and everyone has their own opinions.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the reasons probably, just to speculate, I think one of the reasons probably Jodie got kicked out was rather than sit back and observe, Jodie went straight in with
Oh,
her.
she went guns firing, and brave for doing so, but I just didn't think I wanted to be that way.
Sure, but you were far more opinionated as your time sort of went on in the house.
Yes.
Certainly with Dennis as well, because you started with Dennis. It was interesting because you started to. I mean, you know, he kind of like came around, just kind of hit on you, I guess, and you were like, whoa, 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 not yet, buddy.
He's a bit of a gentle giant, actually, and I remember when I came into the house, I thought he was a bit rude, and he just kind of grunted, hello.
He really was rude, wasn't he? Yeah.
You know, and I think, conversation.
I mean, as well as that, I think anyone over here who sort of would know Dennis from the NBA would realise, I mean, this guy's a huge star in America.
Massive.
Exactly. So
massive.
It must have been quite a freak out to kind of see him walk through the door and then be quite rude, as you said.
Well, he was. I think he was kind of sounding people out himself, and I think part of it was him just being shy and perhaps just being an observer as well, and then slowly breaking in. And if you recall, over the tapes, you'll see that he came forward after a while when I was doing the cooking. And you know, like, what's cooking,
Yeah,
Mama?
well, absolutely. That's
And
what I
I
was
just
thinking.
think, hello?
Yeah, that's when I realised. Hang on, or I think when he realised,
Yeah.
you weren't exactly a pushover. Now, in terms of nominating him, because you were one of the people that I think Dennis probably warmed to more than anyone else in the house.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
But where did the nomination come from?
The nomination came because that day he pissed me off, really, and I couldn't find any valid reason to go for anyone else. I actually did think of Michael, to be very honest, because I think he was, I don't know, I found him a bit odd. I think he was a bit two-faced about things, and I wasn't too sure whether it would be contrived of me to go and say something against him, so I just backed out of that one and went for Dennis, because we had that spat in the morning about him saying, well, you know, I'm just going to leave you alone.
And yet...
What are you talking about?
Absolutely, and yet that very evening, Lickety Lips came out.
Oh, come on! I wasn't even aware I was doing...
Really?
I promise you, hand on my heart, I just didn't think...
It was brilliant. It looked like a carry-on film.
Oh.
Like he was looking over and you were going... Like you were almost Sid James. You were going... Whoa.
Oh, no!
Listen, you're a great housemate. Here's all the big things the little brother loved about you.
The message I'm hoping to get across to everyone is that I'm just a normal person. It's the mentest thing I've ever done. I can't have dinner. I'm going to have spinach. Oh, my God, I'm a cow.
That's horrific.
If I really like somebody, I'll go all out and get him. Kick up the backside, if that's what you need.
Is this something I have to get used to every morning?
Oh, I say.
Oh, where are you going now?
Don't talk to me like that.
Come here.
Give me a sugar daddy.
I do feel a little hurt. I've been nominated, but I'm sorry.
Toby?
Excuse me, who's going mad here now? I'll be back.
Now, what normally happens, whenever we show Best Bits, and there's a little bit of, like, romance or controversy, everyone that's watching the show from our perspective kind of goes, woo, and friends and family normally are quite silent and stoic. Your friends and family are like, woo, yeah, Dennis! Absolutely loving the Dennis. OK, last night's public nominations, it was, like I said, I mean, the news was quite uncomfortable to watch. So, I mean, how do you think the House will cope for the aftermath? Maggot, Ruler and Tracy being up?
I think it's very hard-hitting for all of them, because I think George plays a big role in that house because he nominates himself all the time to be the spokesman.
Is that resented in there, do you think, or
I think
accepted?
it's coming through a little bit, but it's a paradox, because some of them do accept it because he's so big in Parliament, of course. I think Ruler obviously has a bit of a gripe with the whole thing, after he kind of cut her off when she was trying to comment, when she was trying to have a conversation with Dennis. And I think that really got her back up.
And lastly, who do you think will go out of those three?
Tracy.
OK. Whoa, didn't mess around with that.
No.
Forgive everyone.
Thank you.
More from her after the break. And Jenny St Hughes gets to the bottom of the relationship in the house. We'll see you in 3. Hey, welcome back to Celebrities Big Brother's Little Breakfast. It's day 15. Time is now 8:18. In a few moments, going to be putting your questions to Evictee Free. But first, to give us her take on the relationships forming in the house, or not, as the case may be, is friend of the show, Jenny Trent Hughes, everybody. Hello there, Jenny.
Hello, darling.
Lots to talk about today.
Oh, yes.
It's just so awkward in there, that's the thing. I mean, what's your take on last night's nominations?
Well, I think, first of all, I think it's one of the best Big Brother tricks I have ever seen.
Horrible, though, isn't it?
Yes, definitely horrible and cringeworthy, but really, really, really good. And I think it was a chance they felt to clear out a lot of people they didn't want to clear out. Because Maggot got cleared out because they can't control him. Maggot is very much like Dennis in a way, where he's his own man and he's not being manipulated or swayed, and therefore they need for him to be out.
Do you mean by Big Brother, or do you mean by the house?
By the house.
Sorry, OK. Well, I was going to say, how will Preston and George deal with this now? Because they've got a lot of ground to make up.
Well, they're in big trouble. First of all, I love watching Preston because Preston is just Virgil from Thunderbirds. You know, the little black puppet with the glasses. Yeah. That's his story. And I think it's brilliant that George has finally got his comeuppance because Rula is going to be hell on wheels now. That is we are going to see some stuff that you've never seen before.
I think Rula, when she wants to, can up the bar, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So I was going to say, how will Maggot and Preston and Tracy, Maggot, Tracy and Rula deal with it?
Well, you see how Tracy's going to get, you know, when she said, when she was trying to sort of whip Dennis up, you know. He said you were lazy. I mean, that girl...
So she's not dealing with it particularly well, because immediately she comes out and does playground stuff, is that right?
Well, I'm slightly different because I don't buy into this little sort of Barbie doll act at all. I actually really don't buy into it. And I think that...
So what is she like?
I think she's a bit of a stirrer. I think she's really, really a bit of a stirrer. And she puts on this act of I'm so sweet and innocent. Check into her background a bit and you'll see just how sweet and innocent she is not.
Okay, now there's been some disagreements. I had to move on before I got libelous. There's been some disagreements.
It's all in the public domain.
Some put it down to nationality, some put it down to race. We're confused, I'm confused. Let's remind ourselves of what happened when it came to a head a couple of days ago.
Do you think they'll let a black or an Asian girl ever, or guy, win this thing? Are you out of your tree?
According to Faria and Dennis, if you're a minority, end quote, you don't stand a chance of even winning on this show.
It's turned into a race thing now, you see.
You know, Faria is considering herself a minority, and you don't have a chance on this show, in this country at all, on a show like this.
Michael's gay, Maggot's Welsh. Do you know what I mean? You could say it's...
In the same way, I could say I don't stand a chance because I'm way too old for the vast majority of the public who watch this programme.
It's got nothing to do with black Americans.
Oh, gosh, you seem very angry right now.
Yeah, I am.
Why are you very angry right now?
Well, go figure.
What's happening there, Jenny?
What's happening there, in my opinion, is you have a lot of people feeling incredibly guilty. Incredibly guilty. I personally don't think that it's a race thing. And I think that what Faria was talking about is a valid point when you look at how many non-white people have won reality contests in this country. But she was not talking about people in the house being racist. And I think that some of them are very anti-American. I think that Michael and George are just beyond the pale. And I think that some of the comments that have been made by Michael, George and Pete, if they had been made about a racial group, they would have been hauled out of there. But because it's Americans, it's fair game, it's okay.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not right. Now, later, Dennis accused Tracy of stirring things up deliberately, which you were alluding to. You obviously think she is playing a game, but is she paying for that now?
I think that she is paying for it. I think that she's absolutely paying for it because in America she has gotten away with doing certain things on reality programs, etc. Because because they believe the game that she plays. But here, people don't like that cutie baby dolly thing, so immediately she's in trouble from that alone.
So do you think she'll go tomorrow night?
I'm not sure because I think that Rula, it might be time for Rula to take a walk as well.
Brilliant. Jenny, thank you very much. Don't forget, we're still looking for lookalikes for Make Me a Celebrity Housemate competition. If you think you're a Dennis doppelganger or a dead ringer for Rula, drop us a line in one of the following ways. It's time for Ask BBLB. Faria's with us. We've got some questions for you right now. Let's go straight to the phone. Sophie from London's first up. Good morning, Sophie.
Good morning, Dermot.
How are you, all right?
Hi. Lovely.
Wonderful. What's your question?
My question to Faria is, now you're out of the house, Faria, what are your immediate plans?
Well, I'd like to follow fashion, which is something I feel very passionate about in terms of styling, really, or maybe even doing something in my own label, who knows, but maybe
We'll be looking out for it.
Sorry?
We'll be looking out for it.
Good, do, please.
Can I ask one more question, Faria?
Yeah?
Do you have any regrets while being in the Big Brother house?
Not really, no.
It was fun.
It was a fantastic experience. Try it sometime.
You were lovely to watch.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sophie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Just come down to the interview, I noticed, Sophie. Stell from Acton, do you think, or do you even want to claim now to be a celebrity?
Well, I certainly am now. I've been on Big Brother.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Just how I mean, for example, I think when people like Preston and Maggot come out, I genuinely think that their lives are going to be up. I mean, you know, like you said, you were notorious
changed.
before you were in the house.
Yeah.
But I think when Preston and Maggot come out, their lives are going to be upside down. How do you think they'll deal with it?
I think...
For someone that's literally had that themselves, for someone to be elevated and everyone know who you are.
I think Preston will do extremely well. Maggot is quite a balanced guy, actually. Slightly vague sometimes, but quite balanced, I think. Preston I think he's got star quality. I really do think he will do exceptionally well and just rise above everything.
Brilliant. OK, Kim from Ilford. Hello there, Kim.
Hi, good morning, Dermot.
You all right?
Good morning, Freya.
You got me a croaky voice, Kim?
Yeah, thank you.
Tough night last night?
Yeah, up at 4 o'clock this morning watching your show.
OK. You go for it, Kim.
Yeah, hi. I just want to know, what do you think of Dennis and Tracy's relationship?
Well, it's a very interesting question, actually, because I think to the general consensus in the house and outside, it was thought that there was perhaps something going on with Tracy and Dennis.
Definitely.
But the thing is, there's an underlying attraction from her side towards him.
Yeah, I agree
and
with you.
You can see that, but I think she tries to hide it, in spite of her having a fiancé. And then, if you recall, I don't know if you saw all this, but Dennis kept saying to me, "Don't believe all this. Don't believe. She's always hitting on me." And I can believe that actually to a degree. But then he's probably speaking about himself quite a bit. But I generally believe that there was something there.
But the interesting thing for us was when he walked straight through the door, and you know he just said, "Oh no, not you," and walked away, and we all thought, "Oh, he'll hug her in a minute." And he just didn't. That carried on for like 10 minutes.
Well, she complained about that.
Yeah.
She felt really hurt about it, I have to say.
That is pretty much all we've got time for. Thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you.
That's it for BBLB. Stay with us after the break. Back with Little Britain star Anthony Head. Emma Pearson's with us as well from Hotel Babylon. And we put your questions to 50 Cent in More in Glory. So we'll see you in 3. 3, everyone. Thank you so much.